Hello and welcome to yet another video from Maza Bitcoin. So we're approaching some mountainous area. It's a 175-kilometer ride from Nha Trang to Dalat. Sometimes I do rides deep into the night, 2, 3 a.m. Sometimes if it's a really beautiful ride and I'm really enjoying myself, I ride all night, and then I rent a hotel the next day about 11 or noon, and then I just live in that hotel and close the shutters and sleep until the next day at 12 noon so I can revitalize my legs and keep going. So this is a nice part of the ride because we're hitting some mountains, and I actually enjoy mountain riding. Now we're getting some cars. So I'm roughly not too far, maybe 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers from Nha Trang, going into the mountains of Dalat. And yes, I have been to Dalat one other time in my life. However, when I went to Dalat that one time in my life, why are all the cars just coming towards me? No cars going my way, I don't know. So, it's kind of odd. So, yeah, there was a time I went to Dalat and I was traveling just with a backpack. And I took a sleeper bus to Dalat from Nha Trang. And I remember looking outside the bus window on this road and certain parts of the road, and my mouth was watering. I thought, oh my God, I gotta ride that road, man. It's just gorgeous, man, just gorgeous. And of course, we're away from further and further away from the ocean, because we're riding inland, and so we have very little wind. Vietnam features very few mosquitoes, very warm water, ocean water, very warm air year round, especially in the southern half of Vietnam. Maybe you can hear the tan, the crickets. And I don't know what this is going to look like in the video. This is the first time in my life I've actually filmed myself riding at night. Well, not really, that's not true. It's the first time I filmed myself riding at night away from a city. So there are no street lights here and no cars, and it's, another way to put it is heaven. Actually, I didn't pack any food. I rarely pack a lot of food. When you're cutting through a piece of real estate and you're looking to accomplish your 100 kilometers or a chunk of a ride, and you have you get into a nice rhythm and you're listening to a podcast and you're educating yourself. Man, I just don't know if there's anything better in life for me. And I've been fortunate enough to play like musical shows and so forth and feel like I'm a star or have my 15 minutes at certain points in my life. But nothing compares to riding a bicycle through countries unknown. Nothing compares to that. There's a gas station. Got a scooter behind me, and I have a curious car coming. I did not take the time to Google or I use this app. It's called Map Out. Map Out is absolutely fantastic. I think it's a $5 download. If you're a bicyclist or you're interested in adventure, pay the $5 in the Google App Store and download Map Out. It's very detailed, and it shows how many meters tall the mountains are. And it shows, you turn your phone at an angle and you can actually see the mountainous passes and the valleys on your phone screen. And it'll show the number there of how many meters tall it is. It's what I've been using on this trip. Very detailed. So it's not like Google Maps, which is Google Maps does not, as far as I know, show you much about the inclines and how tall mountainous valleys are, or how deep valley passes are. But in this map out, they show you everything, and it's well worth the $5 price tag for this app. I can highly recommend it. You can only wonder what the people passing by me are thinking, because they don't usually see a pair of snow white legs, like, you know, running down the road in the middle of the night. That's not what you often see. Maybe you've never seen it before. If you're driving a car and you're Vietnamese, it's not what you see. I will say though, Vietnam is just a fantastic country. People are they're extremely genuine, and they're, especially out of the large cities, I can't say enough good things about them. They pay attention to detail. You go to any coffee shop or look at their buildings. Of course, they had a major French influence on their architecture and their food and they pay great attention to detail, and something which in Chinese we call it 美感. 他们非常有美感, which is they have an eye for beauty. They have an eye for beauty, and when they're building a structure, they pay attention to detail, and they make got some sand here. No matter if it's a hotel room or wherever it is you're staying, you always notice the small attention to detail. You could be in a coffee shop outside of all major cities, just little tiny towns, and look at a door, and the door is of high quality. I can't say this about the Taiwanese culture, which I'm familiar with. I can't say this, I don't know the number exactly of countries I've been to in my life, but I've been to many. And you can't say that about most places on the globe. Vietnam, especially this point in history, is a very, very special place. And absolutely, if anyone watching this video has a chance ever to come have a vacation and check it out, please be sure to leave the fly-in city, the main hub, which in Vietnam's case is Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi. Looks like a little town up here. Maybe I should eat some food. But I like to eat where I see other people eating, and I haven't seen anyone eating. I don't know if I'm too late or what. Let's keep pushing on. So yeah, I made quite a few videos recently, and I thought it would be fun to shoot myself here, what it's like riding, at midnight or after or all night. Oh man, I can only imagine some of the landscape that I'm not seeing and how beautiful it is, but I've done this all over the globe, and it's at nighttime there's a lot less traffic, of course, and so there's that, and there's just a tranquility. I always carry baby powder with me. I always carry rubbing alcohol for wounds. I carry a small first aid kit. One time I cut my finger really badly at about 3 in the morning out in the middle of nowhere in Spain, somewhere near the Rock of Gibraltar, and you gotta suture, I didn't sew it, but you gotta be able to take care of yourself and keep any wounds clean. But in Asia, one thing about Asia is although there are some desolate areas of Asia, for the most part, it's highly populated, and you're probably not going to have to travel too far to get assistance on something almost anywhere in Asia. I would say, aside from maybe Laos, and I'm talking about Southeast Asia. Of course, China is Asia, and there are certain parts of China that are vast expanse that go on endlessly, and would not be true in that case. But there's a wellness in Asia. Even in the air, there's a warmth, and there's a lower cost of living, and there's a decency in which, I've said this many times, the Westerners do not share. The Westerners tend to be, but not always, they tend to be far more, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm suddenly can't find the word. 他们会看着你，就是你可能是敌人啊，这是他们的想法。我不知道你应该是我的敌人，这是西方的想法，西方的国家的想法比较像这样子。And so adversarial is the word I'm actually was looking for in English just now. The Westerners predominantly share and carry a more adversarial relationship with each other, especially among those they don't know, and probably more so the ones they know well. And this is not coming from just a moment of viewing it from an outsider's point of view. No, I've spent a lot of my life in Asia, and I've spent a lot of my life in Western countries, and I've met a lot of white people, I've met a lot of black people, I've had black girlfriends, I've had Middle Eastern friends. I get close to anyone around the world if they want to get close to me, you know? That's just my personality. I can learn anything from anybody. It could be a street bum. Probably I learn a lot more from a street bum than I learned from some butthole businessman in Silicon Valley. You know, let's keep our value system straight here. And what I'm saying is Asia, the Western countries could learn so much from the Asian countries. And there's a decency here, I'll go back to that we don't share in the Western countries. There's an absolute obvious media campaign in the West just to make people miserable. And now, years ago I was reading a book, I can't remember the name of the book, but there was a part in the book, look at this guy passing, oh shit. There was a part in the book where was stated the king and queens, the kings of any country and any land, they do their best to turn the people of that land, the serfs, into the same way that they are. So if the king is miserable, they want the serfs and the populace to be miserable like them. If the kings and queens are freaky, you know, like Hillary Clinton, weird. Bill Clinton, her husband, weird. These people are pedophiles, obviously. 他们喜欢欺负小孩子。对啊，要小心这些人。他们就是非常恶心的。So, if these types of people and their buddies are the ones running the Western countries, the ones in control of the monetary system of the world's monetary system. Well, you know me. You know I'm gonna bring this all back around. I have some mace for those dogs in case they want to party. I've had them come at me here and there. The real crazy dogs are the ones that you don't hear, they don't bark, and they sneak up on you in a pack. That happened to me once in Indonesia. I was riding in Indonesia on Mount Bromo. This was 1995. I was alone riding over this giant mountain, nighttime, and I have my headlight on like I have now, and a pack of dogs kind of stalked me, you know. They stalked me and then they went at me right when they got up to me. And back then I didn't have enough experience to know I should always have pepper spray with me. I carry pepper spray with me regardless if I'm in California, anywhere in the world, traveling in Europe, in Taiwan, in Southeast Asia. I'll always carry, in Africa too when I was there. Had a knife. It's good if you ride a bike, you can put a stick, not a stick from a tree branch, but 一个棒子 就是贴一个绑子在你的脚踏车的夹子上面。So you take like a small metal stick, maybe 2 feet long, and you just use the Velcro tape and you tape it to your goddamn bike frame, and you've got mace in your left-hand pocket. You've got a metal stick Velcroed to the top of your bike frame. So if someone wants to come party, or a group of guys want to come party, they'll get a party. And luckily that hasn't happened